And if you're the Lakers, you want OKC.
Yes, but not by much.
Richard acting different now. He doing the finals. Richard, look, got lighting and everything. Oh.
But this is acting different. Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. I couldn't wait to start acting different. I couldn't wait.
I can't.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, what? First of all, I sat around when I was a kid. It's like, man, when I make it to the NBA, man, there's no more ramen noodles. I'm eating steak and lobster. Yeah, I'm acting different.
Hey, low key, I took my kids out to a nice steak place last night, and my tiniest kid ordered a lobster tail and a mini filet mignon and crushed that shit. Roxy is this big of a human being and has to eat like this, and she's 8. Crushed that thing. We ate like kings last night.
She also crushing your bank account.
How are her bowel movements this morning?
I don't know. Allie, I'm not checking. She's 8. She could doo-doo by herself. Turn the fan on, girl.
Turn the fan on. Dad, welcome to this edition of Road Trippin. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be fun. Allie Clifton, Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins. Guys, before we start and dive into everything, the latest with the NBA, Channing had an awesome rant last week on our live with Perk and I, and we decided to put it out there for the people. Channing had a moment. He was like, I don't know if I want this. He actually shut down his social media because he didn't want to have to engage with all of you. However, it is since blown up. It is since blown up. We're in the day of social media. We love clicks. We love all the things for good reason. Okay. But I have had a great reminder over the last 72 hours, and I thought we could start this episode humoring both Kendrick and Richard, because I don't know if you guys are paying as close attention as I am. Every morning that I open our Instagram account, I have a new notification from Channing. And he has since started to reply to some comments. So I'm going to read you guys a couple of these comments from our friend Channing. Okay.
Oh, I'd like to jump in on these comments.
Sit back and
enjoy. They're the best.
We're actually going to give some people a shout out on this episode. You're welcome. We're diving into it. At F Society 23. Why is your forehead? No. Hilarious how someone who averages 8 points and 4 rebounds as a center in the NBA talks about what's killing the NBA. That was his comment. Channing's response was, why is your forehead so big? Also, how much did you average in the NBA?
Wait till you see his picture. His shit is trash.
At Schmitty, okay, SCHMITTY 77. This guy is a chode. Talking about Channing.
A chode. I love that word.
Channing decides to respond back. Your name is shitty. Okay, it gets better. At Lee Warrington 10. He starts a long rant actually in the comments, but it starts with this. I'm going to keep it short. Maybe everyone keeps talking about MJ and Kobe because they're sick and tired of watching this sissy style of NBA. Channing's response, is this a real account? Are you letting a dog lick you in your mouth? And when was the last time you watched a game? At
Wait till you
Dad,
see his avatar. It's a dog with a tongue right here next to his mouth. It's nasty.
Channing will come at you deeper than basketball. At Dad on Rito. Another mediocre player talking crazy. Channing's response, based on that avatar, mediocre would be an upgrade for you. Well, at Goose NYC, just say you love LeBron. Channing's response, I love your mom. And last year's one, at NC_919, and it's because Channing says he then went to search his profile. He's a coach. Clown emojis. He just put a list of clown emojis to the point.
No, not Channing. Because this is the thing. And
Channing responded.
What did he say?
Saying, thank you for your service. I hope you lose every game by 1 point this year.
He's an Army vet, and then he's a coach. So I said, "Fuck your team. I hope y'all lose by 1 every game."
It's like Doug Gottlieb.
You.
It's like Doug Gottlieb getting on the mic and talking all this trash. He goes down there and coaches, and it's just like, here's some shit.
What's crazy is people just watch the clip and they don't get. Now, mind you, my rant. Obviously, I was emotional. The whole point was we just got to enjoy these players. I have a quiz for you guys. People go, all people do, they go, I don't even watch I haven't watched it in 10 years. It's a shitty product. I go, 10 years ago was 2015. Well, shit was kind of cracking back then.
It was cracking.
Now. Right.
It was cracking 16. It was cracking 17. It was cracking 18.
2021 was iffy.
Well, so 2021 was
right. Right. Okay, here's a quiz for you guys. What are the 5 top teams the most watched teams in the NBA this year?
You got the Celtics, you got the Warriors, you got the Knicks at 5. So
Okay.
based off of the context of the conversation, you would think that people would like to watch good basketball, right?
Yeah. No.
Your 3 and 4 teams are who, Channing?
the 76ers and the Lakers.
Well, they're watching the 76ers to watch them burn.
Right. So people go, I want to watch good basketball. And why am I watching all these threes? Well, you have the 2 top shooting 3 teams that's who you watch. You're watching the Warriors and the Boston Celtics. The Nuggets are last in 3-point shooting, but one of the better teams. Houston, Knicks, right, are some of the teams that don't shoot threes. Orlando. People aren't watching real basketball.
What?
Can I just say this? I agree with you. And this is why I've tried to stay out of this discourse. You brought up a perfect point, Channing. 2014, 2015, amazing basketball. The Warriors changing the game. Once 2020 hit, right? And there was a lot of talk, whether it was a Black Lives Matter, going to the bubble. The discourse of basketball became a political issue and how it was handled. Now, what that did is that brought in a different level of audience, very similar to when we talk about Caitlin Clark and what's going on in the WNBA. A different audience came in to be upset about Black Lives Matter, about what was going on in the 2020 and about all the activism. So now, those people within that came down that aren't true basketball fans or didn't like what they were seeing, those people are still here, and their whole mission is just to shit on the NBA. Any opportunity they can get. We weren't doing that in 15, 16, 17, right? Because it was just normal sports, normal basketball. Now they come in and they're any opportunity. Again, anybody, they get a chance, they're going to shit on basketball. It's the threes, it's the this. Ratings are down. Well, the ratings were up right after Christmas Day. Right? Ratings were up right after Christmas Day. Hockey should do hockey. Blah, blah. Okay, people. I love hockey players can fight. We're not allowed to fight anymore. Do you really want to compare hockey ratings to NBA ratings? Do you want to compare? Our WNBA ratings were doing better than a lot of the hockey ratings. So let's not start talking about why hockey is different or better at this. Every sport has their own thing. But that is why there's so much negative discourse from this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I'm not saying that the game isn't evolving. The game evolves every 10 years. It evolved in the 80s. It evolved in the 90s. It evolved in the early 2000s. So the game is evolving. So if this iteration you suck, just wait around. It's going to fucking change.
I like this rant, Richard. I'm
just saying that the people that came in and are hating on basketball, the same with the WNBA fans that are hating on Caitlin Clark or hating on those women, they weren't watching basketball. They're here to talk shit, and they're here to rile up people and shit on the product.
Perk?
Channing, I would say you're better than me, because there's no way in hell I would be going to respond to all those fucking people. I just wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. You drop a clip and you let them argue, right? Like, let people go back and forth.
My favorite. That's my favorite.
That shit was funny. But let me say this. you know, people. My thing is that people who don't watch the NBA or claim they don't watch the NBA, I feel sorry for your loss, right? Because you're missing out. Because all I keep hearing is this next generation ain't what it should be. SGA don't cheat the game. Anthony Edwards doesn't cheat the game. Jokic doesn't cheat the game.
Tatum
doesn't cheat the game. The Tatum doesn't cheat the game. The list goes on. So I feel like the next generation, I think the NBA is in great hands. Once Braun, once Steph, once KD are gone, the NBA is in great hands. I'm not saying about who's going to be the face of the NBA. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about guys who actually showing up and wanting to hoop. Like, these guys are hooping. Guys are available. Jokic is hooping. Like, everybody needs to just shut the fuck up.
A crazy stat, in 3 years, Jokic and Shea, guess how many games both of them have missed? Combined, 34. That's it.
But we focus on the people who's missing. We talk about guys with chronic fucking knee injuries, right? We talk about people with chronic knee injuries missing games. Kawhi, Joel Embiid, and resting. This man said at the beginning of the year he's not going to play back-to-backs, and it was the fucking topic for 2 months of the Philadelphia 76ers, and here he is at the end of the season getting knee surgery. That'd be like us talking about Greg Oden and when he was going to fucking play, and that's no disrespect to him. Some people just aren't built for the wear and tear. It doesn't mean mean that they're not great. Doesn't mean if they were healthy, they wouldn't be amazing. Channing, that's a great fucking point. But this is the thing. International players are dominating basketball because of capitalism and the way the basketball is being played here in America, right? We're not getting the top players. We're not doing the stuff that we did 10, 15 years ago. It's more of an international game, right? So it's like, I look at this and I say we're in a very good place, but the media has to start focusing on positive basketball and not just trying to get clicks for conversations. Positive basketball and positive conversation does not get engagement on social media. Negative does. That's why Twitter is the way it is. That's why our political world is the way it is. Negative content gets more clicks and engagement. They're paid for clicks and engagement and views. They're not necessarily paid to promote the game. We might think that, but that's not the case. And if you don't believe me, turn on your television.
So then I ask you this question to your point. I believe it was Perk just said this. Can the league afford to not have a face?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The league is going back towards teams, right? And this is what the apron got. When you go to a team and you get the max, you're going to be there for a while. Look how long it took to move Zach LaVine. To me, you're going to start seeing these teams like Orlando, Cavs, OKC, San Antonio. Who am I missing here?
Houston.
There we go. Houston. And a sleeper Portland. I'm here, Homer. You're going to see these teams start to stay together for longer, and they're going to build like how the Cavs built, or like how Boston built, or like how OKC built. They're going to build teams like that, and then people are going to start to really love their teams and have more team competition than they are individual competition. There's just no one out that is going to keep up with the amount of media attention that LeBron did or Zion had. Right? Zion had a chance to be that guy that everyone knew from junior high to the NBA, but it just didn't work out for him right now. So like everyone else is going to have an opportunity to be aggressive and be on their team.
No. Channing, if you'd have made that statement before the Luka trade, I would agree with you.
Right.
But since Luka got traded, that changed everything. So you went from teams having 3-4 year plans to now teams is on a year by year basis.
You think so?
That I strongly believe that. Like, I know so. I think they're on a year by year basis. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, it's certain situations. Like for example, you better keep an eye out on the Boston Celtics.
Oh, they're in the apron. Okay, nasty.
I think the Boston Celtics are going to repeat. I do. I think they're going to
Way to go on the limb there. Way to go on the limb.
No. But what I'm saying is, shut up, bitch. Listen, I think they're going to repeat. If they don't repeat, I believe that they're going to break it up. They have no choice. Their starting five is like damn near getting $1 billion. Do you see right now the owners, right? The Boston Celtics are on the market. The Boston Celtics are on the market right now. You can't have two guys making $300+ million. It's not going to happen. If the Celtics don't win it, I think they're going to shop Jaylen Brown.
Oh,
they're going to win. But even then, I think this is my thing. In my opinion, I think you would move Drew Holiday. You would move
Al Horford.
Those are the guys or Porzingis. I think those two guys, given their age, how young they are, whether it's Jordan, Pippen, however, those two you try and keep. This is my humble opinion, right? I hear your opinion.
No, Richie, it's not from a talent thing. It's from a money standpoint.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you want to get rid of that one piece, or do you try and get rid of the other two pieces? Because I think, with all due respect to Drew Holiday and Derek White, trying to find some guys that can play around those two versus saying that we're going to move a guy that's going to be an all-star for the next 5-6 years, and we're going to have those other guys that are still here, all defensive players.
I mean, but we all agree that Jason Tatum is that guy on their team, right?
Yes.
Here's what stood out to me the other day about Boston. When they kicked the Knicks behind. Jaylen Brown had a good game. Kristaps Porzingis was balling. Jason Tatum had like 28, 10, and 9.
Yeah, almost a triple double. Yeah.
And guess what? Derek White, who was the fourth option, he was flirting with a 20-point triple double. He had 19, 9, and 7. And I was saying to myself, it's no other team in the league that has this, where your fourth option guy is flirting with a 20-point triple double.
And some nights you would say fifth when you look at when Peyton Pritchard get going.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I think Derek White is like at 160. Like you could if you don't win you don't win the championship, you could build around Jason Tatum, and you still go be right where you need to be and keep those pieces. I'm not saying they're going to do it. All I'm saying is, the Channing point is that I don't believe that it's a 3-year window for a lot of these teams no more. I think it's a year-to-year basis, solely because of what Dallas did with Luka.
I can see that.
Since when did we get on this train that it's Boston? Like so confidently.
They're just
that was
all year. This train been a moving.
Allie, I think it's not going to be easy.
You guys didn't say that you were convinced that they were, like, as matter of fact as you just said it. Oh yeah, it's Boston. They're winning. Yeah.
No, I stand by that. I stand by. If they are healthy, said it at the beginning of the year. We said it after they won. If they are healthy, no one can beat them.
I think the Cavs have the best chance of beating them. Just hear me out.
Same like the Warriors. No one was going to beat the Warriors. The Cavs had the best chance, but no one was going. If they are healthy, the Warriors would have won 3 straight if they were healthy.
Oh, for sure.
Simple,
easily.
They just too grown out here. They too grown. And when I say grown, like, it's no other team in the league that has a starting 5 that are two-way players. Derek White, two-way player.
Two-way.
Jason Tatum,
two-way player.
Jaylen Brown, two-way player. Drew Holiday, two-way
player.
Kristaps Porzingis, two-way player.
Three-way player.
No other team.
Two-way.
And let me add this to you, Perk. Let me add this to you. Give me a team with a better 6, 7, 8.
Oh, Cleveland?
Okay. Now
Cleveland has a better 6, 7, 8.
I see. This is my thing. I stand by Peyton Pritchard.
Okay.
Luke Cornett is your third big, and Hauser as spacing and shooting as energy off the bench. You can't leave him. You have to be attached to him. He knows his role. So that's 6, 7, and 8 to me. Those 3, right? I'm not saying that like they're the most dominant, but you basically have the 6th man of the year, right? In Peyton Pritchard, and he's a two-way player. Cornette is a Zubac. He's a versatile guy. If Al Horford's out, Porzingis is out, he does his job at an elite level. He stays there. He does what you need him to do. He would be high level in the Lakers rotation.
Oh,
high level in the Laker rotation. I'm not saying he would be number 1, but he would be playing for the Lakers.
Which one? Who?
Luke Cornett, the big fella. All he does.
Way to go out on a limb with that one.
But again, agreed. What I'm saying is that when you have him as your third big, but he would be a rotational player for other playoff teams.
Here's my only concern, and I'm asking y'all this with the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell, we know what he's going to do in the postseason.
I just told Allie this shit.
My thing with the Cavs is, who is that second guy? I don't believe that Darius Garland could be that second guy against the Celtics if they match up, which I believe they will in the conference finals. Evan Mobley is going to have to be that second guy.
Hey,
no.
He's been balling lately.
But is he a go get it?
Channing,
I would hope so. What he's shown this year is it might be different against Boston, but he's shown the handles, the 3 driving to the hoop, all that.
All I'm saying is, I'm asking this: can Evan Mobley in the Eastern Conference Finals against a Boston Celtic team give you 24 and 12 in the 7-game series
every night?
No, I don't think he's there yet.
Every night. And that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Wait, Allie, what did I say? I said, who else on the Cavs is a go get it? Like, oh no, it don't matter. You in front of me. You not stop. Who gonna go get it? Like, and I said, Jalen Williams in OKC. I feel like he's on the verge of a Jaylen Brown. Like, I'ma go get it. I don't care who's in front of me, who it is. Shea gonna give you his 30. I'm gonna give you 22 to 25 and do a bunch of other things. Very similar to Jaylen Brown when I look at the way they play within the system, and then you look up and this motherfucker's cooking. You need more go-get-it players. Let's look at past champions, right? Was Kyrie, you're not stopping me. Bron, you're not stopping me, right? I would even go as far as Swish, as in like Swish just dominated when he determined he wanted to do what he did. The Warriors. You had Gold State. Take me out of the full screen because I want to say they know what I'm talking about. So everybody knows Swish is one of those dudes that's like, when Swish turn it on, all of us were looking around like, oh, y'all fucked.
He ready to go today?
He got to sleep tonight. He got his Dunkin' Donuts with 8 sugars.
The Swish that's not golfing in the playoffs.
Yeah. But I'm saying, now go back and look at the Warriors, right? Go back and look at the Warriors. KD, we know KD. Steph, you know KD. And then Clay looking around like, I don't even know who else is on my team, but I'm going to go get it. And you not stopping me. And I'm not saying it happened every night, but that was a mentality that you could see throughout their best players. We only truly see that with Donovan Mitchell of I'm going to pick my spots and I'm going to go dominate. Darius Garland is still getting there. Evan Mobley is still getting there. I think the addition of Hunter, huge, right? And so the other thing about, and when I say the Celtics, they've been together now for 5, 6, 7 years. This team has been together for 2 straight years. If they healthy, they're not even thinking. They're just boom, 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 popping shit. And you're always better the year after you win the championship because there's no more pressure. You know you can do it. You know you have another gear. And it's simple after that.
48 threes a game is absolutely astronomical.
Well, they have
you have all those dudes.
Shooters.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But you're like, that's actually not that much when you give 4 shots to 9 dudes, right? 5 shots to 9 dudes, right? That's 45 right there. And all those dudes, I think, shoot above 35%. So you're like, that's a good shot. It's like a whole team of Channings out there.
Is it a foregone conclusion like this that the Thunder are the team to come out of the Western Conference?
No. Did you see him versus Minnesota the other night? Hey. Hey, Anthony Edwards, they took him out the game in the fourth quarter.
No. We're not going to do that.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Just hear me out. What I saw was Minnesota got physical with OKC and started just attacking the rack over and over and over again. They slowed the game down, made it grimy. So if there's a team in the Western Conference that will slow it down, make it grimy, and don't allow Shea to get to the free throw line, they were doing a 2-2-1 zone or a 2-1-2 zone against Shea, and he was turning that bitch over. I've never seen anybody play him like that. And that to me is like, that's a new thing.
And guess what? That's how great of a player SGA is, that he had to make Minnesota get into their fucking playoff bag. Okay, most coaches don't even, right? Most coaches don't even try to expose their hand like that. But we can't stop you. We can't stop you from getting to the free throw line, so we're going to put a 2-2-1 zone, and our coach is going to bitch about you getting calls. Okay, cool. They didn't have Chet, but I will say this, Allie. I gotta rethink some things. If you'd asked me this a week ago, I would have said the OKC was going straight to the NBA Finals. I'm telling you, Braun like his chances against OKC. I think he stays in that round just like he did against the Raptors when he was in Cleveland. Y'all know he wanted to see the Raptors. That year, y'all wanted to Indiana Pacers. Y'all know how y'all position themselves. Get towards the end of the season, all of a sudden his ankles and feet start hurting. You know what I'm saying? Start sitting out some games to make sure they stay in that range, and then all of a sudden, bam, they take off. The Lakers are fucking scary. They scary as hell.
Okay, really quickly. Right now it's Rockets 4, Lakers 5. They beat the Rockets, right?
They beat the Rockets.
Oh,
Beat
yeah.
the Rockets. Now,
Yeah.
the Grizzlies, they beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Grizzlies are 2. So the Grizzlies, they beat. Thunder, there's questions. Nuggets, in my opinion, there are questions. Those are the only 2 teams that I can see here that I would say that the Lakers would most likely not be favored going into that series. They'd be favored against the Grizzlies. They'd be favored against the Rockets. They'd be favored against the Clippers. They'd be favored against the Timberwolves. We don't know how healthy the Mavericks are, but I think the Mavericks, if healthy, would probably be an even.
So y'all hear me out. That's why you stay in the 4 or 5 range.
I'm agreeing with you.
Let them have the number 2 seed and let whoever else fight for the number 3 seed, and you stay in that 4 or 5. You get the Rockets or you get one of them other squads, advance to the second round. I'm just saying, if you're Lakers, you like your chances against OKC better than you like your chances against the Denver Nuggets. That's all I'm saying. In the second,
yeah,
sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Either way, you're most likely going to face, depending on the side of the bracket, you're going to end up having to face one of those 2 teams in the second round. One of those 2 teams in the second round.
And if you're the Lakers, you want OKC.
Yes, but not by much. Jokic is a fucking problem.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid him at all costs. I'm trying to avoid Big Marshmallow at
Rich,
all
though,
costs.
you just called the game up close. Like, you were there. Like, what?
You want to know what I saw?
Yeah, I do.
The Nuggets had played 9 different teams, or 9 shitty games. They won all of them. This was the first time they played against a good team that played hard, and they looked lethargic. They did not play well. Their defense is in the bottom third of the league, but they are also similar to the Celtics where they feel like they have another gear. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that but all I'm saying is that with Jokic, he's very similar to LeBron, where he's an X factor. If Jokic gets going, I don't care. You're not like, they most likely are going to win that series. Like, Bron is still 40. If Bron at 32, Bron was going to do whatever it took. Pass, rebounds, assists, defense, it didn't matter. All I'm saying is this. The Grizzlies, I'm more fearful of the Nuggets and their experience. We've seen what Jamal Murray do. Like, those guys go into a game ultra confident against the Lakers. So I would be more fearful of the Nuggets than OKC, even though OKC is a better team because of the history with the Lakers, and Jokic is the best player in the game. He might not win the MVP this year, but he's averaging a fucking triple-double.
Hey, you know who's the X factor? You know who's the X factor?
JJ
Redick. JJ Redick. That's who's the X factor. And he's been out coaching every single person, in my opinion. The Knicks game, they played him last week. It was like, oh, what is he going to do with Karl Anthony Towns? I'm a game plan and we're going to lock his ass up before they got to Luka. Okay, what are we going to do to Jokic? I'm going to show you what we're going to do to Jokic. He's going to have the worst game of the season against us. That's what JJ Redick is doing right now. Then he comes out post-game and says, I haven't been asleep in 48 hours. So it's a matchup. It's a matchup.
He wasn't lying.
So not only
go ahead. Sorry.
I don't give a shit. Look, I'm rocking with JJ. I'm rocking with JJ.
I agree. I saw him the night before the game. He's like, I'm telling my guys we're ready to go to war. Like, we're storming the beaches of Normandy. Like, he was locked in the night before. I'm like, okay, JJ, go get him, big fella. He's like, I'm locked. Because they had won 9 in a row. There's all like the history of the Lakers versus Nuggets. He's aware of this. But I will say this, and again, the same way that we need OKC to prove it to us in the postseason, same with the Cavs, the Knicks, I would say this. Proving that you are a coach in the regular season is very different than the chess and checkers that you're playing in the postseason. So, JJ, we now get to see you might be able to do that, but then as soon as you do those things in the regular season, you got to go be able to prove you can do the strategic part over 7. I believe in them, but that is still yet that we still have to see it.
I disagree. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
We've seen a lot of great regular season coaches. We know a lot of great regular season coaches.
For sure. I just think, for me, when you look at LeBron, Luka, JJ, those dudes are going to have some shit for the playoffs. And the fact that they're trying this stuff now and it works, and they've waited this long to try it and it works, is almost scarier. Now, Luka's hopefully going to continue to get in shape, continue to get shredded beef, and then his teammates are going to get used to it. They just got to stay healthy. And I mean, also, offensively, what are you drawing up for Luka? Hey, man, who's the worst defender on here? Put him on Luka, and then everyone wait, and then something will happen. And then, oh, guess what? LeBron's right there, too, if there's another matchup. So for me, I think the Lakers are scary. But one thing about Denver, and I think Rich already touched on this, is forget a play, forget all the schemes. Jokic is just such a bully in the playoffs. He's going to get to his spots. And I don't know if anyone in the Western Conference has enough big men to just wear him down. It's going to be, I'm very interested to see what teams do to try and slow him down on this team that can't shoot they can't shoot for shit. But
who matches up against Luka from Denver?
Nobody.
I think that's
Absolutely.
that's the difference.
It can't be Aaron Gordon because he's too big to get screened.
Okay,
He's
but
too
how
big.
about this? How about this?
Yeah.
Who do we pick? Who's going to match up against Jokic? And between Luka and Jokic, who is most likely to be a more composed player in the postseason? And I'm not saying that
Jokic.
Luka hasn't gone to a finals and 2 conference finals and he's not this. I'm saying we know this. In the postseason, you have to stay like this, even keel. I am not saying Luka's not a monster. I'm not saying this. Okay, collectively, do we all agree that Jokic is the best player in the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Allie, Allie doesn't have to answer. What I am saying is this. Right now, he's won 3 out of the last 4. He most likely has the statistics to win 4 out of 5. Will he? We don't know because Shea and OKC. But statistically, he is currently the most dominant player in the world. So I can't sit here and say that, oh, well, what answers do they have for Luka? What answers do they have for fucking Jokic?
Let me ask you this, going off of that question right there, and this is a legitimate question for all of you guys. Can the Lakers, we're going to obviously use the Lakers in this, can they sustain the way they defended him in a 1-game matchup over the course of a 7-game series?
Yes.
You can do that. When you talk about who's guarding Jokic. Okay.
Yes. You know
that
why?
looks pretty darn good.
You know why?
It was great. It was outstanding.
It was outstanding. You know what they exposed about the Nuggets? That they they can't shoot consistently.
Oh, it's
That's
gross.
what they did.
And Russ and Aaron Gordon were hitting threes. They had like 7 threes between the two of them, and it wasn't enough.
And guess what? JJ, Braun, and Luka said, continue to hit them. I bet y'all can't, and they didn't. We're going to continue to trap. We're going to continue to trap Jokic. We're going to take away these cutters. We're going to load up boxes and elbows. And when y'all catch the ball on the perimeter, we're going to bait y'all into shooting the basketball. I don't believe the Nuggets can do it consistently. And
they can't.
If you're asking me to match IQ with IQ, especially when it comes down to the defensive side of things, and I got a LeBron James that's going to be on my back line, dictating and talking and communicating, can he? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because while we were, yeah. And let me say this. I don't know what the hell JJ Redick has done with Rui, but I'm seeing a different version of him as well. And it's not just him standing in the corners or playing the dunker spots. He's actually getting featured, meaning seals on the low block, face-ups, taking guys off the dribble. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, JJ really doing it.
Isn't that a byproduct of Luka, though? Because now you don't have to have your best defender, second best defender.
Third best defender is not even there.
Third best defender on. Is that because, would you guys agree, did the Lakers have a big 3?
Yes.
No.
Austin.
Yeah. What?
Yes. No.
What?
Yes.
What you mean? No?
Yes, they fucking do. Bro, I don't know how much you've been watching. No, okay,
We forgot. Channing isn't a big Austin Reeves fan.
Big three can be 3 all-stars. Big 3 can also be 2 all NBA players and a all-star, like low-level all-star caliber player. Austin Reeves is so big, especially late in the fourth quarter, that like he is a Chris Middleton. Like he is getting into that space. Will he hit the all-star game? No. But man's averaging what, 17, 18 a night? Luka's 19. Luka deferring to him. I'm watching the game, and Luka, it was one of the few times that you can watch a player's respect grow for another player, right? Where Luka throws the ball up to Austin Reeves. He see Austin Reeves go in his bag and do something. Luka, you can look at Luka's eyes like, oh shit, okay. Right? Like, but I'm saying it's like you see that where you're like, damn, I didn't know that he had all of this because we play him against him a couple times. I might see him a couple more times, but now being on the court, watching this man move, you say, show me a big three that is better than Luka. Now those two might carry most of the weight, Luka and LeBron. Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. Show me two big threes that are better.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek
We
White.
start with the defending champions. Now go to the next fucking one.
You can't. It's not enough.
You could probably say in Cleveland. You can say in Cleveland.
I would say Cleveland, but I'll also say whether you agree with me or not, they've been balling lately.
They better be winning.
They're winning now.
Who?
They are winning now. The Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond thing is looking kind of not. Just hear me out. That's another big three.
You're making an argument to try and pull the other side.
Right.
I'm saying legitimately, there's not a lot of big threes out there that are that talented.
No.
Between the three of them, we're talking about 20, 65. We're talking about 90 points a game between those three of them.
You have three guys that could take over the fourth quarter. We learned that 3 years ago when Austin Reeves put on that fucking clinic in Memphis and Braun took a back seat.
KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Is Austin Reeves better than Bradley Beal, Channing?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Stop it, Richard.
Allie,
Richard, that's a baby.
I'm asking
Allie,
a question.
what game was that? What game was that? Was that game 4?
Game 6?
What are you talking about?
Where Austin Reeves was just
Austin Reeves coming out party in the playoffs in Memphis.
Game 1.
Game 1. Okay, cool.
Game 1.
Now listen, do y'all realize that Austin Reeves and Ja Morant's stats this season are similar? Ja's averaging 27 and 4. Austin Reeves is averaging 19, 6 and 4. If that's your third efficient 19, 6 and 4, you telling me that's my third option guy to Braun and Luka?
And he's a shooter. Now, defensively, you say, but as a shooter, ball handler, and shot creator, he's a 3-level scorer. When I mean that, he will go in and finish. He's got float game pull up, and he will shoot deep threes, and he will handle and create. So from that space, this is the worst thing about Austin Reeves. Let me tell you the worst thing about Austin Reeves. The Lakers potentially missed his window. To have a player that good on how much is he making this year? $8 million? Mm-hmm. He's making $8 million, averaging 19 points a game. Yeah. With the caps and all the stuff that we talked about, Channing, Perk, that window of him being basically the third best player, improving every year over year, he's getting better. Eventually, that $8 million is going to turn into 25 or 30.
For sure.
If he was a free agent this summer, he would be getting 25 or 30. That shows you where he is and the way he plays and the fuckers available.
Yep.
Okay, you make a good point. I digress.
You make a good point.
I digress.
That's why they needed that big. That's why they needed Mark Williams.
He's making 12, 9.
8 and 12 is the same thing.
Same
Allison.
shit.
Sorry. Speak to the non-millionaire. My bad.
No, I'm saying in the cap space thing.
Yeah.
A player averaging almost 20 points a game for a top 5 team.
Good for him. 12 million.
Yeah. Oh, and if he's making, what do you say? He's making 12? That shit going to 25.
12, 13, and then 14 and 26.
Oh.
Wait. So they have how many more years of him?
Through 26, 27.
Oh, so they got 2 more seasons.
God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, maybe they didn't miss the window. Maybe they didn't miss the window. Hey, look, let me just say this. This is the type of shit that can make Bron play one more season.
Wait. As in after next year?
I'm just saying. I'm just
agree.
look. I don't
One
think
thing I will say, last night, seeing Braun had 17 in the fourth, like
Because he was
because he finished with 27. He had 17 in the fourth, 16 or 17 in the fourth. To have that energy, and by the way, didn't have to generate a lot. Some were off of second chance points. Some were off of, what I was like, is he going to play longer?
What was you shocked? Was you shocked that LeBron James has more life, that he has more belief? Because he's playing with one of his favorite fucking players that he wanted to wear his signature shoe, and Luka Doncic. I'm not shocked. I think LeBron James plays not just next year, but 2 more years after that.
let's
Well, in that sense, we're playing with Bryce and get the whole family up there.
I'm with you, Perk. He has the ability to do it. I don't know if he wants to deal with it.
I can feel optimistic about this. You know what I'm saying? Let me feel optimistic. Look, here's the thing. Did Jimmy Butler give Steph life? Damn right. Luka has given Braun more life. JJ Redick has given Braun more life. You don't think we all know Braun didn't heard the chatter? Hell, I was one of the guys that was doing a lot of the chattering when they hired JJ Redick. Do you think LeBron want JJ Redick to fail? Hell no. He want him to succeed at the highest level. Everybody on here know this. Everybody know this. We all know Braun. We all play with him, cover him, whatever. This is the fucking thing. When that motherfucker is happy, he is 110% all in. He is happy.
This is the thing I've noticed about older Bron. He's happy the first 25 games of the season, and he's happy the last 25 games of the season. Allie laughing. That's when you're like, I'm happy in the beginning. This is so much fun. In the middle of that shit, you like, why the fuck am I doing this? Then you get to the last 25 and you're like, okay, this shit is fun again. Right? Those middle 50 fucking games, 30 games, 40 games.
You guys remember how moody Richard was last week on the podcast? Remember how moody he was?
Yes.
That's Braun for those 50 games in between.
Yes. Motherfucker, I'm grumpy too when I'm fucking flying to random shit in January and fucking missing birthdays. Nigga.
Guys, fair. We got 7 minutes left before we have to wrap this up. I want each of you to give me a hot take. A hot take, and then we will wrap this up. And Kirk, I'm going to be honest. Since we started this podcast, I feel like you've been trying to fit in, as Braun says. I need you to fit out right now. I feel like you have something on your mind.
A hot take.
Oh, you motherfucking right, Allie. I do. I got something on my mind.
I feel it.
And it's not basketball related.
Oh shit.
Oh, God.
I'm so fucking tired of TSA. I flew in this morning. Right, I don't fit in the what is it? Where you
the
go?
Seatbelt? The seatbelt?
No.
The
when
scanner.
You raise your hands up.
The metal detector scanner.
You're not supposed to do that, Perk.
Shut up. Let me finish. I don't fit in there. Right. I don't feel like going to get the TSA pre-check and doing all that shit. I fly in the morning. Time. Nobody's at the airport. Walk through the scanner. They're like, oh, we got to test your hands. I'm like, all right, cool. Test them. They put them in get the little swab thing, stick whatever it is, put it in the alarm goes off. I'm like, ain't shit on my hands, right? So they're like, oh, we got to do a pat down. I'm like, the pat down. After they finish, I was hour and a half later, and I still felt uncomfortable. They have to change that shit. That shit is not cool. It is not cool. It is borderline sexual harassment. And they need to change that shit. That shit ain't cool.
Yeah, he liked it. That boy was.
Okay. Since we're on TSA rants, I'm with you, Perk, because I'm the opposite. I have missed more flights than I have made because I try and get straight through the airport, right? But I'm trying to figure out if I do clear and I do TSA pre-check, they taken my eyes, they taken my fingers, they taken this. Then they now have that new photo that you have to take again, and they're like, oh, you can opt out. But if you opt out of the third photo, then you have to then get your ID out. Then what the fuck was the TSA pre-check for? What the fuck was clear for? I feel like, well, you can opt out of it. And it's like, okay, I opt out. And like, well, we deleted. Then why the fuck? Well, we got to make sure it matches. Motherfucker, we've had IDs. Now you need a digital footprint to match a second digital footprint for a person holding this. That was like, you're Michael? Yes, here. Okay. Well, yeah, we saw that on TSA pre-check. And I was like, well, take this another picture to prove it's you. And I'm like, well, what the fuck was all of that other shit for? It is the most absurd, and we all know. They say they deleted. We learned from Google that your private browser isn't private because they track that. So we know for a fact.
Oh, they do?
100%. Uh-oh. Allie's got to clear browser history.
Yeah.
It says it. That's why Apple started advertising Safari, a true private browser, because Google they were lying about that the whole time, right? And so now it's like they're like, oh, we're going to take your photos. Like, why are we taking our photos and doing TSA pre-check and doing clear? And then you get to the front now and there's another photo. And if you don't want to take that photo, you have to get your ID out. Well, then what is clear for? Because clear helps you skip your ID. TSA pre-check, make sure you don't have to take off your shoes.
I think it's TSA because I only have clear and I've never had any of these two issues that the both.
You're a blonde white woman.
We're gonna edit that. Damn it.
TSA is racist.
That's not funny. That has nothing to do with it. However, we are going to talk about this private browser shit. I love those hot takes. Channing, do you have a hot take? That's fun and not basketball related?
Yeah, Shannon, you might want to chill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You didn't already set the world
I'm
on
diving
fire.
back in. Here we go.
Dive in it.
I'm gonna dive in it.
You're welcome.
Hey, no. Giannis goes to Miami this summer. That's my hot take. That's what I think happens. I think
Does he go
Giannis
through
goes to
TSA?
Miami this summer. Huh?
Does he go through TSA?
Nope. That boy got all that money. He don't be spending it on nothing but Skittles. So he got money for a PJ.
Okay. What is my hot take? What is my hot take? What is my hot take? I don't really got shit, man. We be fucking covering this.
We should probably end this podcast on a lighthearted, great note. Besides the fact that Perk, I agree, they pat down and it's excessive. So I am not dismissing your hot take there. Congratulations, Richard.
Thank you.
That's a big deal. Calling the NBA finals. Don't act different. Like we started this podcast and you said you were going to.
Oh, I'm going to act different. But let me, okay, wait a second. Let me say this. And for the people that don't know, we started road tripping because I wanted to get more reps when I was a player. And I was like, well, dude, I want to do more stuff, but we're playing. And they're like, okay, well, how about a podcast? And nobody knew what a podcast was, right? In the sports realm, because athletes weren't really doing that. They might be guests. So I went to Allie. I'm like, Allie, can you help me do a podcast? Allie was like, what's a podcast? And I was like, well, it's
no,
this.
actually, I said no.
But after I told you what it was, Channing was supposed to be the first guest on the podcast, right? That was the first thing. And I say all that to say is that when I'm blessed and fortunate to be there, I always look back on where we started in the group and the people that helped build the foundation. And that's what the four of us did. Right. And even though Perk wasn't there for the start of road tripping, he was there at the start of my ESPN career. And we grinded, we worked, we was alternating sports centers and sleeping. We were both sleeping in Milwaukee on couches because we had to be up at like 5
on
a.m.
this fucking couch.
Yeah, we was grinding. So, you know what? I still view this as a team award. Right. Rising tides lifts all boats. You know what I'm saying? So I love my squad. I appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without y'all. Because trust me, I would have tried.
It's so rude. I was just going to give you another compliment.
No,
you win, we all win. We love it. And we are so stoked and happy for you, of course. So congratulations to you.
I'm so glad Perk froze. So
I was hoping that he froze on y'all's end too. He might still be back in TSA. With that, it's another edition of Road Trippin.
We out.